Chow. Fantastic. Well, welcome various people of the internet to Gun Game History, our first official episode. And I'll let my name is Teo, and I'll let my friend Dillon explain to you a little bit about what we're doing here.
My name is Dillon, and I would like to start off this episode by introducing the inaugural Gun Game History intro, and here it is. Hello, dudes, dudettes, and non-binary folk. We are Gun Game History, the only show on the World Wide Web that brings real facts to the fake guns in your favorite digital media. Hosted by the dynamic duo, Dillon and Teo, your resident history nerd and tech boy. This is a weekly show where we take a shallow dive into the featured firearms in the Game of the Week. We hope you're entertained and educated by this episode, and without further ado, let's get loaded.
Yeah, locked and loaded. So today we are playing Battlefield 1, which is actually the game that we kind of started playing that got the idea rolling for this show. Because as we were playing it together, you know, Dillon just has this plethora of knowledge about guns, and I was just asking him all these questions, and he had all these, like, amazing answers for the context of these, and, oh, this is some intense post-traumatic stress that we're experiencing.
Yeah. Basically, I had noticed that a lot of the weapons featured in the game were either anachronistic or just not accurately portrayed. Like, if you were a World War I soldier on the front lines like this, you probably wouldn't have been given some of the guns that you get to play around with in this game.
What do you mean by anachronistic?
That they wouldn't have existed in the timeline that we are given in this.
Okay, all right.
Like, we jump into this, what is it, like 1917, something like that, and a couple of the guns that are featured in here were not actually made until the 1920s or 30s. Which immediately caught my attention. That being said, I could be completely wrong about that. That's why we have our fact-checking tablet here to make sure that I keep it straight and narrow.
Our soldier's guide to the armory.
Yeah, indeed. And so we'll see what we find in here.
What follows is frontline combat. Yeah, I mean, one thing that I did really enjoy about this the first time we played it was that you get given a name and a birthday for every person you play as.
Okay, so right off the bat, this gun.
What are we looking at here, Dylan?
This gun that we got right here, I believe this is a Hotchkiss machine gun, which is a British design, light machine gun, fires a heavy-duty 30 caliber round. The thing is, you would not be wielding this gun like you see right here. Like, where are you holding all of your rounds? You know, like, where do you have like 10 of these giant strips of bullets? You know, and you just reach back in your back pocket and grab one out. This thing is a heavy machine gun. I mean, it's got to weigh like 30-40 pounds at least. And you're just, you know, lugging it around, shooting it from the shoulder. I don't think so.
Nah.
Like,
yeah,
this...
no, I hear what you're saying. Like, this is like usually probably a mounted, like a mounted weapon, I would imagine. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this would almost exclusively be set up on a tripod. Almost exclusively.
Oh, jeez. Is life slowing down because I'm about to lose it?
So it is in fact of the time. We got a 1914 date of production on this.
What was the name of this gun again?
It's the Hotchkiss machine gun.
Hotchkiss. All right.
Yep. Chambered in the 8mm Labelle cartridge. French military used this one for a second. But here's the thing. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're not shooting this from the shoulder. You know? What do we got here? Give me a...
It's like a single-action rifle of some kind.
Give me a little look at this gun.
I feel like I'm supposed to die here.
I believe you are actually going to die, and that's okay.
Oh, and now I have a shovel. Oh, jeez. Did I get the Hotchkiss again?
See, this is the thing that I'm not really a big fan of about this particular game, is that these guns did exist, but not in this format. A lot of the models that you see in here they were experimental.
James Hancock.
Thinking this war would be our rite of passage, our great adventure.
Hancock.
Let me tell you, it was no adventure.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was...
Alright, so this is a Maxim gun. You know, there were a whole bunch of different companies and makers of these light machine guns. The big jacket, that big cylinder around the barrel, is actually a water tank that's filled with water, and it's used to cool down the barrel.
I was gonna say, as a cooling system?
Yeah, exactly. Because
Don't throw grenades at me.
the idea behind these, when they originally came out in World War I, was that they would constantly be firing. Like, you would shoot this so much that if you didn't have a barrel cooling system on it, it would just completely melt the barrel. You know, your barrel would start to droop from the heat and then eventually just fall off. Alright, so here we got Winchester Model 1897 trench gun. It was just called the M1897 when it was put into military use. They shortened the barrel, they put a barrel shroud on it. This one does not appear to feature the barrel shroud. That was just a heat shield.
Ah! How do I melee?
You see that there is actually a bayonet on this shotgun, which is accurate. They put a bayonet lug on the military version of this.
Oh, jeez. You're not supposed to melee the flamethrowers.
Guess not.
Apparently.
Leland
Killing
Dangote.
machines, like the tank, changed the shape of the war overnight. Luckily, they were mostly on our side. Mostly.
But see, this is a really interesting mechanic for starting a game, right? Like,
Yeah.
you begin the game in the position of soldiers who died.
Yeah.
And you know, from their perspective, and you can't actually progress to the next level or the next, you know, part of the story without dying.
And
I'd never seen that in a game before, as like, you know, you have to die as a way to progress.
And that is,
I'm sure,
in fact, pretty accurate to actual warfare, especially in World War I. I mean, it was either sitting in the trenches waiting for orders to advance, or just full-on, bloody, like, close-range, hand-to-hand combat, and people died, like, really fast. So I appreciate their realism, as brutal and traumatic as it is.
yeah, like they didn't, you know, it definitely doesn't feel the same way a lot of other games feel as far as glorifying war.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like they're doing much more much more work in terms of like trying to make it painfully clear that like this was not a happy moment in anyone's history. Nobody wins in a war like this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have, you know, young men going off to die for you know, what, petty political squabbles, you know?
Yeah. It's conspiracy, man.
Who just ran that dude over?
Most likely. Would not be surprised. Mowing them down. I love how you can hear the shell casings falling inside the tank.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, how the acoustics are a little different. I would assume that they would have been designed to like expel the shell casings outside,
Yeah, you'd think.
but that's not. I mean, I guess that makes sense because like the hardware of the gun is inside.
Yeah, and that's just like way more moving parts to actually get your shell casings outside.
Oh yeah, totally.
One more thing to break.
Got him on the run.
Boom. Swiss
Instead of
cheese.
adventure, we found fear. And in war, the only true equalizer is death.
Yeah.
Oh. So here, this, I do not know what this gun is.
Yeah, this is a weird one. Top-mounted magazine.
Hang on, I gotta move these bottles.
Yeah, so you can get a good clear view. Oh yeah, by the way, today's episode is brought to you by the Head Snapper Prosecco, as well as a shot of St. Germain's.
Yeah, the Head Snapper. It's an Italian Prosecco with bubbling aromas of honeydew, melons, and nectarines. Flavors of citrus dance through its delicate finish, which is
essence of nectarines and honeydew melons.
It's mixed very well with Saint Germain, which I just found out is actually an elderflower liqueur that was only created in 2007.
What's this gun?
That's a 1911.
98 infantry.
Oh, Guerre 98 infantry. Yeah, that's your standard G98. Was turned into the K98 infantry rifle for the German forces in World War II. This is a gun that has had a long history.
I didn't get to throw my grenade.
Oh, Bartholomew Washington. Bart.
Get to cover.
This appears to be some type of an MLE bolt-action rifle. Just by the bolt design, you know, bent-down bolts like this weren't very common until, you know, the 19-teens.
What do you mean bent-down bolts?
The bolt, it bends down along the stock profile instead of just sticking straight out to the side. Like, you'll see a lot of German and Russian and Hungarian bolt-action rifles from the early 1900s.
There we go.
Just having straight across bolts. And you're smashing it.
Oh jeez.
And then artillery comes in and tears you limb from limb. Hempstead.
Mrs. Hempstead, we regret to inform you that your son didn't make it back. Oh god, I'm totally making jokes about people dying in war. That's not funny.
This is why I...
See what video games do to you? They turn you into an insensitive sociopath.
Yeah.
Capable of violent, brutal...
Don't play video games, kids.
Yeah. I mean, that's the point of this whole show, really. At the end of the day, we want to compel to you, how dangerous games are. Because without these simulations, who knows? Maybe we would have forgotten that war even existed.
They push.
So you see how his bolt comes straight across on his Guerre 98?
Every once in a while,
I love
they push
this.
hard enough that the light breaks through the cloud.
That's beautiful.
It's in a world beyond the war glimmers.
They're both just like, can we just not kill each other real quick? Everyone else is dead. Can we just go home? I know there were a number of moments like that.
And the world
Oh, yeah.
is the
I mean, I remember they talk about how, like, in World War I, on Christmas Day, they like came together and celebrated Christmas.
Yeah,
Or, like, they didn't
and-
like celebrate it, but they had like a truce for Christmas
Yeah,
Day.
and Snoopy flew over in his
Yeah.
Red Baron airplane. And, yeah, life was good.
and the lost to history.
Is that Simon Pegg?
We are the knights of the sky.
Might have been. They use a lot of real actors for these games these days.
These are our stories.
Matt Damon.
I don't know if you saw or if you played L.A. Noire at all.
I have not played L.A. Noire.
I think you'd enjoy that game. It's like a detective-y game.
Indeed.
Oh, here, let me hand the sticks off to you.
All right. Taking control of the sticks.
About that time, chap.
Wow. Teo has such a nice controller. This is like a super deluxe controller. How much did you get this for? This was free, right?
This was $3.
$3.
So we're gonna go to Through Mud and Blood.
Through Mud and Blood. The British Mark V tank is an armored beast designed for a single purpose: shattering enemy lines. It was also designed to the tracks are designed in such a way that it could go down at a severe angle and actually come back out of a trench if it needed to. This was built to go over trenches.
New machines of war.
Over the top.
Interesting. Over the top.
Over the top.
Over the top of them trenches.
Mm-hmm. Late in the war. Fall 1918. Yeah, this would have been months before the war actually officially ended, when the armistice was signed. October 17th.
British forces prepare for a mass assault on the town of Cambrai. Cambrai? With tank support, Allied command believes... Okay, that's okay. I can't...
The last line was that the Mark V tank was not reliable, and that's true. None of the tanks that were invented in World War I were very reliable at all. They were just huge tractors that people put a bunch of armor plating and guns in. And they would break down all the time, run out of fuel... They had soft spots that were susceptible to, you know, small arms fire.
Yeah, they were notoriously, like, I mean, they also came out with, like, more models of tanks. Like, they came out with, like, a ridiculous number of tanks, right? Because they kept trying new things, as I understand.
They did, and a lot of them didn't work. Eventually, the Mark V was the one that the British military settled on, but they still didn't build that many. If I remember correctly, there were only like less than 50 that were actually made.
Really?
I believe so. I mean, everybody fact check me. Tell me if I'm wrong. But they were expensive to make and difficult to ship.
Grab those, would you? Come and meet Big Bess. Woman of your dreams.
As a matter of fact, the reason why tanks are called tanks is because these Mark V tanks right here, they were a secret project, and the code name was WT for water tank, which is, it's like a euphemism in like English for the bathroom.
Right.
And so that was kind of a joke with the servicemen, is, oh yeah, I'm getting the shitter, you know.
Don't swear. She does not like it when you swear. Finch.
Finch, the bird keeper.
Don't cuss around my bird.
I just like that look of awe that this dude has when he first sees this. Because, like, imagine he's never seen a piece of machinery like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
like,
this is a totally new thing.
This is some, like, space age, you know, steampunk, just, like, future technology to all of the guys involved. And, like, I'm sure, imagine how cool it would have been on some level. I mean, obviously also terrifying and super uncomfortable, but on some level cool to be one of the first people to operate one of these vehicles. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
To just be like some, you know, 17, 18-year-old kid who, like, managed to get stationed inside one of these and was one of the first people to actually, like, touch the controls.
I mean, at this point, the majority of these people were not born during the 1900s. Like, these are people who were born before the year 1900. They had never seen machinery like this. I mean, you might have never driven a car, driven a tractor, operated any kind of machinery. You know, you probably knew what trains were.
That's true. Cars weren't even very common at this time.
No.
Like, people were still, like, you know, riding around on horses.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you know, like, tractors weren't even, you know, like...
We just got a nice trench crossing shot.
Oh, nice.
Right there.
Yeah.
Alright, so what am I doing? Am I driving this thing?
Dillon can't decide whether or not he wants to drive the tank or drink his cocktail.
I can't decide. I do like to drive tanks, but this thing is, what a hulking
You know, normally
beast.
I would say don't drink and drive, Dillon, but this thing moves so painfully slow. I feel like the only way to drive this thing is to drink at the same time.
Honestly. Yeah, alright. Going one-handed for a minute.
Infantry will go in the first whistle. Then we
You can
follow.
tell.
You ever seen anything like this?
I have. I'm sorry to say.
Did they stop you or did you stop?
Gonna cut down the
They
guns
stopped
up by
me.
that windmill.
I mean, probably because you're just gonna fall through the wooden planks in front of you.
Alright, dudes are moving out from the trenches. Here I go. Vroom vroom. I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a big old tank. Do 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 do.
See that tank, Edwards? Don't get us stuck in the mud like that.
Right, don't get stuck in the mud.
Try.
Jeez, what a behemoth.
Alright, I'm gonna go up here.
Engine's fine, sir. It's the mud.
Looks like a good vantage point. I'm sure a lot of you guys have played through this campaign so many times, and you're sitting at home pulling your hair out like, oh, you guys gotta, oh no, you don't go there. Oh, you're right in the line of fire.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for me, I feel like the point, based on what I learned from the prologue,
Boom.
how did that not, for real? I feel like the point of this game is to die.
Yeah.
Right? Because the goal here, to me, is, like, they were trying to get historically real, you know, historically real situations of this era. And the reality is, the majority of people died, you know?
Oh my god. I do not feel like this tank would be this agile. Like, I'm just running over everything. Jugga, 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 jugga,
Yeah,
jugga.
I mean, you definitely would have been stuck.
Oh, I would have been so stuck. So stuck. Do you guys like how I'm not using my sights at all? There we go.
Oh, that's fun. Nope, that's your homie. Yeah, careful of the blue dots.
Jugga, 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 jugga. Can't get a clear shot on the Huns.
The Huns?
Yeah.
What do you mean by Huns?
Austro-Hungarians.
Austro-Hungarian.
That's what I'm shooting right now. Yeah. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was the main Axis force of World War I.
Oh, correct.
We don't leave our boys. Stand back.
Austro-Hungarian Empire. Okay, I'm gonna be a silly person right now.
Be a silly person.
At what point was Germany a country?
Germany was a country
Because
for...
Germany was involved in World War I.
Yeah.
But they weren't the central, like, I mean, yeah, the Austro-Hungarian Empire was, like, one of the main forces because it was their dude who got assassinated, right?
Yeah. The
Franz Ferdinand?
the Austrian prince.
Yeah.
Indeed. Thump. Vroom vroom.
I just know, like,
First
part of the
bill.
reason why Germany was so heated after World War I was because they had, like, lost, they were super broke,
Yup.
you know, and then they, like, you know, they... Wow. You're obnoxious.
I just don't really think that this tank is this agile.
Hold here and clear the
But I'm having a good time. That's what games are all about, right? You have a good time.
Well, and the reality is if you were actually driving this thing, it would feel a lot less fun, right?
Oh, so much
like
less
at
fun.
the end of the day, like, you know, whoa, that's a bad guy tank, isn't it? Wait,
No,
no,
that's
is that homie tank?
That's one of my buddies.
Oh, okay, cool.
Jugga, 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 jugga.
So can you tell us anything about, like, the artillery that might be attached to this? Any speculations on that?
There's a big old, like,
You got a cannon and you got, like, some kind of machine gun.
yeah, the cannon is gonna be like, basically they didn't have tank specific artillery cannons at this point. Like, they cobbled everything together from
Right.
from guns that they already had.
So they were using pre-existing artillery. So they were using,
Right.
like, whatever was, you know... Nice.
Yeah, like, these field guns that I'm blowing up right here, there's probably something very similar in my tank. and
Right.
amusing.
Yeah.
Hurry with that field gun.
I mean,
Look
the
at that
barrel
thing.
of it looks relatively similar. I mean, which to me would say that like you might be firing, you know, the same kind of like mortars. Oh, hold down the left bumper. Yeah, you can keep cranking away.
Wow. Let's just sit here in open battlefield.
There you go.
And just repair.
Pretty much repaired.
Do 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 do. I'm invincible. What do we got? Is that a machine gun?
It was totally it.
Do 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 do. Got another machine gun over here. Can't see. Bam.
Hold this position.
Jugga 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 jugga.
Stay focused, boys.
I like how my ammo counter is just unlimited.
Don't mess with the pigeon, Richard. That's our only link back to headquarters.
Edwards, how about you? Need a drink to steady your hand?
No, I don't drink.
Also, I've taken probably like 12 direct hits from these small field artillery guns. That's not happening, you know. I do appreciate the shell drop. It's pretty
Oh
nice.
yeah, I've noticed you're aiming just above your target there
Oh yeah, you have to.
because you know the distance. Oh,
Here we go. Here's a German tank. Oh, well, that botched that shot.
does
Ow.
it look that much different? Oh yeah, repair. Oh,
Boom.
and that's the way she blows, Daniel Edwards.
You know, that's the way she blows. And that's the way you're supposed to play this game. You're supposed to die. So, what are you gonna do?
I think.
I think you're supposed to die. Like, do I have to repeat the mission now?
I mean, probably, yeah.
But my dude is dead. Okay. Okay. Lob one of these right over here.
For those of you frustrated with how Dillon is playing right now, you're not alone.
Yeah,
I'm trying so hard not to backseat game, it hurts.
it's okay. It's really okay. I mean, I'm not a
How you say,
how you say
gamer.
gamer.
Nice, good shot.
I do know how to shoot stuff. Like these Huns right here. Yep.
That is you calling them Huns. That's gonna continue to confuse me a lot. You know, every time you call them Huns, I'm gonna think
You're
talking-
thinking Mulan.
I'm thinking Mulan. How am I
Yeah.
not supposed to?
To defeat the Huns.
Did they send me dollars?
I shot their field guns. Do. Oh, what a mess. Oh, what a mess. This guy's whacking this guy with a shovel.
Yeah, why is it that the shovel is like the auto default melee weapon?
'Cause it's what you got.
It's just what you have.
It's just what you got.
It's what you use to dig your poop hole. It's what you use to dig your trench.
And it's pretty
it's-
useful as a melee weapon.
That's
if
what you
think
use
about
to
it.
brain your enemies.
Yeah, the British actually, they had a two-piece shovel that was issued to them, so the handle would come separate from the head, but the handle was hefty enough to use as a melee weapon, and so they would just use that as like a bludgeon. But the American entrenching tool was a very popular makeshift
Melee.
melee weapon. Indeed. Oh man, I'm getting cut up. I'm just gonna go over here. You know, just hang out. You know, just avoid the battle for a minute. You know, don't mind me. Like, I'm not a tank or anything. I'm just a big empty metal tank.
Great work, lads.
You know, just repairing himself back here, letting all my homies get cut up. Oh wow.
I need you out there. Take a look. Watch your routes,
All right.
Get on and lend him a hand.
You're gonna have
Really?
to either. Oh, you made it to the cutscene.
See, how about that?
you died right before the cutscene.
Sure did.
You good? You sure?
Boom.
Let's get locked and loaded, boys.
See now, this guy is he's a British serviceman, but he was carrying a broom handle Mauser pistol.
Isn't that a German weapon?
Yeah, I mean, it's feasible that he could have bought that on the private market, brought it with him, maybe picked it up in the field.
I feel like the likely story here, if there was an explanation, would be that he got it off of a German soldier.
I'm just going to use my wrench on this place with no bolt. Tink, 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 tink. Get in the tank. I'm in the tank.
Shoot that.
Vroom!
Shoot it again.
What do you think about that? Huh?
Shoot it again.
Huh? Boom. This is the way that you should attack a tank.
More
Straight
power.
up.
Yeah,
Bam.
just do tit for tat. It always works out.
Always.
You just need to make sure your first shot lands before their first shot.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work out, then you know you just hold down the left bumper and yeah, get that wrench icon.
Hold down the left bumper, pray for the best.
That's the idea. All right, we're moving in. Moving right on ahead. Yeah, we got a artillery gun right here. Gonna blap him. Get our little Maxim machine gun on the side out here. Mow some people down. Yeah, ta 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 ta. Yep, I feel like the only thing that they're really exaggerating here, well, they're exaggerating a lot. The maneuverability, the reload time of these things.
Yeah. I mean,
the radius that you can actually shoot in. You see, the thing about these tank weapons is that they had a very limited field of view. Like, you would not be able to...
oh yeah, I mean, the fact that you're
like,
able to
shoot from, like, all these angles... Nah, that's a wide field of view.
only if we had like a top-mounted gun. I mean, the physics of it don't even make sense with the way that it's designed.
Nah.
You know, like... there were a couple of tanks that had like top-mounted turrets that you could actually get like a 360 view on.
Yeah, but that was not a thing in World War I.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think the reality is that if we were actually dealing with the first-person perspective, or even like an over-the-shoulder perspective of what it felt like to be inside one of these tanks, a lot of people would just turn this game off. Because it's such a claustrophobic, uncomfortable situation to be in. And like Dillon said, like, the amount of, like, your field of vision is so constricted, you know?
Oh yeah.
If anyone comes up on you from any side other than the window you're looking out of, you're not gonna see them.
You're done.
Nice.
Great job, lads. Let's find the rest.
Find the rest after my wrench icon. Boop.
Then you know why the artillery on the ground has those like panels on the side?
The panels on the side are they're like steel plates to assist in bullet protection for the crew that's operating it.
Right, right. That
Bullet
makes
and
sense.
shrapnel, you know, might not actually block that much of a
That
bullet.
makes sense. It's like a shield.
Yeah, essentially, because you know the field guns, they gotta be out in front and center, especially when you're shooting at a tank.
We're taking damage.
There we go.
That was the last one. Village is ours.
Oh, look at this little buddy. Hello, bud.
What is that?
This is another model of German tank that was not very popular.
See, that has a top-mounted 360 cannon.
It does. There were a few of these made. Sorry, I blew it up before we could get a really good proper look at it.
Do you mean that literally? Like there were only a few of those made?
Yes. Yeah, there were only a few of them made.
Like less than a dozen?
I would say so. Yeah,
All right, give me the sticks. You gotta look this up.
All right, I gotta look it up.
We need some more info. 'Cause that was a very weird looking tank.
Field gun, flatten it. Move fast. Come on, enemy in position by the farm. Give them hell, lads. We're taking this position. Field gun, watch out. Target down.
Trying to find this particular tank. It appears that the tank that we just saw was a Renault FT, which is a French light tank.
Interesting.
Came out in 1917.
Wait. But didn't the French fight on the same side as the English?
They did. I think that was actually a, unless if that was a German captured tank, which did happen. You know, like, sides would take the other side's armor and use it against them. So, it is possible.
This thing also just like accelerates and moves really quickly.
Oh, yeah, it's not too realistic, I gotta say. 'Cause, yeah, the top speed for these Mark V tanks were not the fastest.
Damn, this is hard.
I know, you don't just have the cop-out of being able to die to progress the story.
Got it though.
Artillery ahead. Now we cut them all down.
So this Mark V tank that you're driving, there were actually two different models. There were male and female models of this tank. The male model was the one with the big gun, which you are driving right now. It was 2 6-pounder cannons and 3 Hotchkiss machine guns. And the female version had 4 Vickers machine guns and 1 Hotchkiss. So, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah, these tanks were capable of, at best, about 4 miles per hour. 4 miles per hour. Imagine the speed of marching infantry. I'll switch your gun. Bam! There you go. Light him up. Light him up. Lighten him up. See, a lot of times that would probably actually be enough. Like, especially if you hit a soft spot in the armor with your machine gun, like, you would just tear that thing apart.
I wonder if this game or if some of the later games like register soft spots
Clear the
like
bridge
that.
of any German defenses.
It would be nice. It would definitely be nice.
Edwards, take us over.
I am not sure if this bridge would hold the weight of that tank.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier when we rolled over that like stack of logs or whatever.
Throttle up. Push through.
Like, these bridges were not meant to be used with huge hulking you know, chunks of steel.
They were waiting for us. Get us moving. Don't get any traction. Push them back, lads.
Yeah, a lot of these tanks were like 14 tons.
Oh man, they told me not to get her stuck in the mud. What did I go and do? I
you
got her
got
stuck, in the mud.
mud.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they had like steel beams.
I mean, they definitely had steel beams.
Well, I mean,
but
not. Sorry.
But these bridges were not rated for this kind of weight when they were built. You know, they were. I mean, when these bridges were built, they were made for like horse and buggy. You know, maybe a truck, but these tanks were something else. I mean, the committee that originally invented a lot of these tanks was called the Land Ship Committee because they were ships that ran on land.
The land ship.
The Land Ship Committee, yeah.
I always wanted a land boat, if I'm being honest.
And the army didn't want anything to do with it. So Churchill...
Didn't want anything to do with what?
Tanks.
The tanks at all?
Yeah.
The army was just like, fuck tanks? I mean,
Yeah, they were like, fuck tanks.
How much of a pain in the ass were these things? Like, nobody would want to be in a tank.
Yeah, but, I
Ugh.
mean, they helped. They definitely helped a lot. Oh, I love this part. You get to fly.
Oh, wait. Yeah, it's pretty...
Flap, flap, flap. I'm just a pigeon flying over the battlefield. Watch me soar in slow motion.
I am so beautiful and death is below me.
I just shit on somebody's helmet.
I mean, we're undermining the poetry of this.
Yeah,
Not
it is.
gonna- not
It is
gonna lie,
so
it's pretty-
poetic.
It's kind of sweet.
No, it's really sick. I mean, in what other war game do you get to be a bird?
Yeah.
You know?
Am I going the right way? I feel like I don't have control of this bird.
Zoom.
Why am I flying into the ground? There we go.
Shoot him down.
Orders! Sir, new fire mission. It's Townsend, sir. Sir. 3, 6, 4, target.
This is pretty legit. I mean, before radios were really super reliable, you had to either lay down telephone wire so that you could actually communicate back to the artillery line, or you just fly a bird in the air,
Comes, boys.
you know, and hope for the best.
Servant with your lads.
Well.
Unlikely.
You have the look of the devil, Townsend. Is that right? All we got out here is blind orders and chance. Which you'll do first, you reckon? I'm sick of your lip, McManus. Aye, sir. Edward, start it up.
What a bummer.
Lions backing up. Big bitch. Give us a break. Give us a break. Come on. Come on, miss. Come on, stop. Stop, big bitch. Stop. It stopped. Are you just gonna stand there?
Turn that crank.
This is agonizing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I have to say, like, Psychologically, what a
There's fog up ahead.
what a shit
I
show.
can't see more
Oh,
than
yeah.
20 yards.
Yeah, you almost get blowed up, you almost get shot, and then your one form of transportation is broken, and you have to fix it. Yeah, painful.
All right, what kind of pistol is this guy holding?
That's a C96 broom handle Mauser. Right there.
Yeah.
It's Han Solo's
Han Solo's
modified
gun.
blaster.
Yeah, totally. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
And, you know, I gotta say, like, I gotta say that it might be, it's possible that this guy who sounds like he's an Irish or a Scottish dude, you know, in the British military might have this because it's
Whoa.
like his personal weapon.
whoa, fucking watch it, dude.
Maybe he brought it along with him. Maybe he took it off a German soldier. I don't know, but it's much more likely that he would have had a Webley revolver if he's working for the British military. You know, that was just standard issue. Like, they weren't handing out C96 broom handles.
Listen, son, I know we're asking a lot here, but this job needs doing. Find us a path through those woods.
Well, I think this might be a good spot to call it, my friend.
Yeah, I think so.
This is
We got to the cutscene.
We're delving into the wilderness now, and before we penetrate through the fog, we just want to take a break, rest our bones, recuperate ourselves before we see you in the next episode. Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. All right, Townsend. We'll be back soon.
Everybody calm down.
It's all good.
And we will be back soon. Our gracious viewers.
Whoever that may be.
Whoever
Check
that
it
may
out,
be.
though. If you subscribe right now, like within the next 5 minutes, you will receive a free pair of genuine coyote slippers.
Yeah, we're going to be keeping track. As soon as we post this video, we're going to count down 4 minutes, 59 seconds, 58, 57, 56. Everybody.
As soon as the update, we are tracking the analytics in real time.
Yep.
As soon as you view this, if you subscribe within 5 minutes of viewing this, and you are the first person to subscribe, you will receive a genuine pair of cowboy slippers.
Yep.
Sorry, cowboy coyote slippers.
Yeah, cowboy coyote slippers.
These are real coyotes, though. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Your feet will turn into coyotes.
You don't have to be a cowboy to wear them, but they will make you feel like a cowboy.
They'll make you feel like a king.
They will also turn your feet into coyotes.
You're about to level up.
Yeah.
You don't know what life was before you had cowboy coyote slippers.
No.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And,
Thank you so much.
And also, anybody outside the spectrum or inside the spectrums of gender, whatever that means, we look forward to catching you next time.
Listen, I love you no matter who you are, how you are. It doesn't matter. You watched my video. Like, thank you so much. Don't forget to like this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel for your chance to win a free pair of coyote slippers. Hit that dingy dong bell icon so that you can be the first one.
Tell us what you think. Correct us on any facts that you have.
Let me know where I messed up.
You can email us at gungamehistory@gmail.com. We might have a website soon if we, when we figure out how that works.
Yeah. Hey, if you give me a good a correction or a suggestion for the channel or the website or anything like that, hey, you might get mentioned in one of these here videos.
We just want to, we want to talk about. I just want to pick through this man's brain and dig out as many juicy gun facts as I can
You're gonna dig out a lot of juice.
Play some video games with my boy.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So anyway,
all right.
good game, homie.
Good game, homie.
It was fun.